Hey guys, Howard Kingston here from Growth Velocity. So, what do you do when you're stuck? Let's say the business you're growing is stuck. It's plateaued and you're just not growing as fast as you used to. Guys, this happens to everybody at some time in their career. And I want to share in this video, I want to share like three very specific things I do whenever I'm stuck that always gets me moving again. And I'm also going to give you an example of a time I was stuck. So I remember a few years ago where my business, my mobile advertising business, we'd grown, we'd raised some investment, we'd probably done a couple of $100,000 of revenue, and then we got stuck. We kind of hit a plateau. Things were really, really, really hard. I remember getting like super fed up, and I remember at the time I actually wanted to leave my company. And I remember a mentor of mine called Dan. I remember having a chat with him and I was like, Dan, things are really stuck. I think, you know what? I actually think I'm just going to quit this business. It's not working. And he was like, listen, this is something that happens to everybody at some point when they're growing a business. So if you're growing a world, if you're the marketer of a business or it's your own business and you're trying to grow it and things have gotten stuck, what he said to me was, he hears this all the time. Like at some point in the other or another, he hears it from different people. And the question he asked me, which I'm now going to ask you in turn, is if tomorrow you closed a new $100,000 deal, would all of a sudden things feel easier to you and things feel better? And I remember being on the phone and I was like, yeah, actually. So the point he made to me was, and I'm making it again to you, is if you're feeling stuck and, you think everything's, you want to quit and all this kind of stuff, if say $100,000 deal made you feel better about it, well, then the real issue is a sales problem. And it's not a problem with the company itself. It's just that you have a sales problem. And we have a saying at Growth Velocity Academy that sales cures all problems. So if you're feeling stuck in your business right now, my question to you is, if you're feeling like you want to quit, would if you close a $100,000 deal tomorrow, would you feel better? And if it is, then it's a sales or marketing problem that you have. And guess what? Sales cures most problems. It is because, trust me, if your deals are flowing in, sure, not everything might be perfect, but you know what? It just has a different energy about it, doesn't it? Versus if there's no sales and you can't seem to get any new customers, then it's a different feeling of being stuck. So in this session, I want to talk about three things. If it is a marketing and sales issue and you think you need more customers, how do you get unstuck and figure out how to kind of get moving again and get some momentum again? Because I know I'm feeling my best when I feel I'm making progress, and I'm sure you are the same. I actually don't mind, it doesn't have to be that I've hit millions of customers. As long as I'm kind of moving in the right direction, then I feel like I'm in momentum and I'm feeling really good. So here's the three things I'm going to say to you. Tip number one, you got to diagnose the problem. Okay, you got to diagnose the problem. And diagnosing the problem rarely is you going by your gut feel, right? So when I'm on the call to someone, when I'm speaking to, a business I'm coaching or, an entrepreneur I'm meeting with, and I ask them trying to diagnose where the issue is. If people start telling me, I feel it's this problem, my gut feel it's this, No, that's not the right way to look at it. The diagnosis, you need to diagnose the issue with numbers. Okay? You gotta diagnose the issue with numbers. And for that reason, you gotta know your numbers across your marketing funnel. All right? From how much it costs you to get someone to your website, what percentage of people are then signing up for the product, whether it's via a call, let's say there's a sales conversation, or whether they do it directly on your website. I want to be able to see all the numbers there across every single touch point of your user experience. Okay, from when someone hears about you from the first time right through to when they make a purchase. And only when I can visualize those numbers can I actually see where the problems are. Because I'll be able to diagnose, and a good marketer will be able to diagnose in numbers where the challenge is. And usually the numbers don't lie. Rarely, if very rarely, I don't think ever have I had a entrepreneur or a marketer come to me saying, "Oh, I'm stuck. Present me all the numbers of their, say, user experience and their marketing funnels, and it all looking really, really good. And all the numbers are, say, where they should be, but yet they're still stuck." That never happens. You see, what happens actually all the time is people say, "I'm stuck." And I say, "Can I see your numbers?" And they say, "What numbers?" "Where do I get them?" And that's the problem. Okay, the problem is they don't know their numbers. One of my favorite quotes about marketing comes from the 1800s, John Wanamaker. And he was a business owner back in the 1800s. And he famously said, "Half of the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half." Right? And like in today's world, you gotta know your numbers. And that's almost like the first alarm bell. If I say, "Let me see the numbers of your marketing funnel," and if you can't give them to me, like, scientifically, every single step, the conversion rate, the cost, all these kind of numbers, the click-through rates, that's the first sign where your issue is. So the first thing is get those numbers. Tip number 2 is get focused and get a plan. So once you know those numbers, then you can start creating a plan of how to improve it, because I'll be able to look at those numbers and we'll be able to see where the issue lies. Most of the time, I will tell you where the issue lies, though. Usually, it lies what's called in the lead metrics. Okay, so what do I mean? If you think about, let's imagine you had let's say you had a user journey. When someone hits your website for the first time right through to when they check out. Most of the issues when I speak to people kind of focus in on that last step when people are checking out and making a final purchase. Whereas the reality is most of the issues most regularly are at the very first experiences, the first 1 or 2 steps in that experience. So what I mean by that is imagine kind of like visualize a funnel, right, in your mind. The first 1 or 2 steps at the top of the funnel is when someone hits the website, maybe books in for a call with your sales team, let's say, for example. And then the bottom of the funnel is when someone goes ahead and makes a purchase. Most of the time, people are stuck because they're not getting enough numbers at the top end of the funnel. They spend all their time focusing on the 1 or 2 people who are thinking about making a purchase, and they're not getting enough people into the top of the funnel. I remember I learned that the hard way when I was launching my mobile advertising business, Adludio, and it took me a long time to realize that the one key metric I needed to make sure we had on target every single week was the number of meetings that my sales team were having a week. Because if you don't have the sales meetings, you don't have the meetings, that means that people don't buy. And most of the time, people are worried about the number of contracts they're signing out. No. Focus at the top end of your marketing funnel, and the stuff at the bottom of the marketing funnel will start to solve its own problems out. Most people, the reason you're stuck is because the first 1 or 2 things at the top of your marketing funnel, there's not enough numbers up there. You're not bringing enough people into what's called your marketing funnel. Okay. And then tip number 3 is fear, and breaking through the fear to actually change something. So many people are just stuck. They're just used to doing one way of doing something, and they're not prepared to make a bold change, whether that be make an investment or make an investment in themselves or change something radically, like maybe pivot the business. The reality is you're stuck for a reason. And if you keep on doing things the way that you are doing them, you're not going to change. So you got to be prepared that you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone and do something different. And sometimes that means doing something scary, like hiring a new marketing team member, or investing in a coach, or pivoting and changing your messaging. We do that all the time at Growth Velocity Academy. Like, I'm constantly, like, I've reinvented the business probably 6 times in the last 12 months, especially with everything that happened when COVID hit and everything. And you got to be prepared the same. I see so many people just stuck in their ways and it's not working, but yet they're used to it. So they're not prepared to make a change. And that's really the final thing. When you're stuck, to get unstuck means you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone, do something a little bit different, maybe bring in some outside expertise, give you some perspective, and only then you will be able to unlock the next level of growth. But the good news is, if you're stuck in your business, guess what? You've already launched and you've already gotten to a certain point. I know you can. I'm telling you, you can get unstuck and go to the next level. Getting stuck is almost just part of the game. No one has a straight line from launch through to multi-million dollars. No, this is part of the game, and it's up to you to see how you react with it. Are you going to stay stuck, or are you going to do something that you need to do to get unstuck and go to the next level? Okay, guys, so hopefully that's useful. Just shared the 3 key things that you need to think about if you're stuck in your business. 1, diagnose the issue. 2, get focused and have a plan, particularly around those top of funnel metrics. And then 3, break through the fear and be prepared to break through and do something which is outside your comfort zone. Okay, guys, if this is useful, I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love you to share this message with somebody that you know needs to hear it today. Okay, peace out. This is Howard, and chat soon.